Right, and we are live.
Yeah.
And hello, everyone.
Hello,
Yeah. Welcome to the 100th episode of DevKami, and I am Chi Leong.
I am Tristan.
And I'm Suming. Just in case you wonder why I'm dark here, because I'm naked. Uh, I got bad internet connectivity, so I need to disable video. So unfortunately, you will see my screenshot. That's later. So let's start with events. Shall I share my
Yeah.
screen?
No, no. What's special for today? It's-
Oh yeah.
what is what is a Centisode?
Oh, centisode is a word that I made up. So it's centi is 100 when we had it's the 100th episode
Okay,
of DevKami.
but if you put it that way, isn't a episode as every episode is epic?
No, it's a cycle. So epi is in the cycle. It's defined as cycle.
Okay.
So I think it means cycle. Or yeah, no, epicycle. Okay, I need to figure out one day. Oh my goodness, we do 100 episode already.
Yeah.
We do
Do
100
you know if
episode.
you Google Centisode and you watch DevKami regularly, it's the first hit on Google.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah,
Oh,
I
goodness.
just
really?
Googled it. It
Centisode.
shows up as the first link
We
the YouTube
invent a
link.
word.
No,
We
it's actually
Now
invent
some
another
a
other
word.
one.
people
Yeah,
other
other people
people
call.
have, but it's just that Google understands that you're a DevKami regular. So if it's not your first hit, then you're not a regular. You should
Yeah.
watch more. You have
Ooh, you should.
99 other episodes to watch, and then it will become the first hit on your
Yes.
Google search.
Yes. Actually, we do a bit more because we occasionally do something extra. But because we still didn't fix the format yet. And yes. Oh, you want to see my face? Need to
Did we lose swimming? I think we lost him.
Yeah. We got a hundred
Yeah.
episode of losing swimming.
see.
Shall we go for the
Events. Yeah.
what yeah, the events. Let's go for the events.
Oops. Okay.
There you go.
So let's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
What's
we'll
gonna
just
happen?
pretend that swimming is not here.
Oh, I need to share my screen because that is swimming screen. So
Oh,
yep.
okay.
After 100 episode, the Murphy. I'm glad that Murphy's law is still with us.
Mm.
So let me share mine. What? Okay, we
Now he's
lost.
left. All right. Okay, now he's back.
All right. So, this is getting to be a regular
And
going
so
cloud
let's
native.
start with events. Yep. And more importantly, on Saturday, in the morning to afternoon, we have PyCon APAC, the second week. This one is a bit more interesting simply because I will be there. I'm running a panel for open source and Python. So if you bought a ticket, you will get the information on their site. And yeah, then the next one is, of course, there's other panels as well, but I'm hosting one of the panels. So the next one is Sunrise Tech Club. This is done by, I do not know who do this, but they're talking about ransomware. Not yet is active, I believe, but it's also long time ago. So
Mm.
this is
So,
Sunrise Tech Club.
these are all online events, right? We still don't have a lot of
Yes,
physical meetups happening.
correct,
Mm.
correct.
But there are a lot
This
of
one, I
meetups happening now. Unlike, for
Yeah.
example, in the
yes,
beginning of MCO, where people just don't know what to do. Now
Oh,
people are
I,
getting.
I think also some of us are lazy.
Mm,
yes,
No, on the serious note, it's just that people were starting to get adapted to working at home.
mm-hmm,
It's not as easy because they have to, especially those with children, they have to
yeah,
bring the thing back and also the pace and everything. Everybody has to get reaccustomed to the working situation.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yep. So the next one is, of course, the last day of PyCon APAC. online. So yeah, so I don't remember what's the specific event, but if you bought ticket, you can see the schedule on the website. So this is on Saturday, Sunday. Then on Tuesday we have DevOps meetup, detail unknown. Uh, the guys will update on the calendar. And Saturday is the software architecture meetup. Number two, not enough detail, but the guys will update. So just come to our website at devkami.com/meetup.
Meetups. Yeah, it's a redirect.
Yes.
You can go to page
Oh,
meetups, or if it makes it easier, you just go to devkami.com, look at all of the videos there, and then
yeah.
click on meetups on the upper right,
Yes.
and
Correct.
you'll see the calendar.
Yes. So the first thing on my list, not in particular order, Microsoft is learning from the D.
Yeah, I thought the original they were going to put it for 5 years, right?
Yeah. So maybe it's in Deep Six. I'm sorry, I cannot help it. Don't say that in word. That's actually Deep Six is bad word. It's more sanitized term for deep something. You get so it so it's a more sanitized version of Deep S. So either way, they retrieve the data C4 data center. So I call it deep learning because they retrieve the server to learn from the deep. My apologies. Pun is intended. So yeah, interesting project, not so interesting. The bigger news is Nvidia acquires ARM for 40 billion US
Well,
dollar.
not yet. They're still in the process
Oh,
of acquiring. They haven't
yeah,
done the deal yet.
The
I mean,
antitrust as
you
well,
can,
right?
yeah, because there's still like the founder, the ARM co-founder is still trying to get the UK government to block the sale and eventually get
yeah,
ARM as a publicly traded company instead of being absorbed into Nvidia. So still
yeah.
things might still change, but what
Okay,
we know is that Nvidia has an agreement to buy ARM in an all for stock deal. I think it's 40
yeah,
billion US dollars, right?
yes. So this is actually very interesting because a lot of people are concerned that Nvidia may kill ARM. Uh, it's bad enough that people actually taken this five. It's an open source. It's an open architecture that you can use.
What are
This
the
five to be
example
used in the
risk five
project.
that question like what are the some of the common risk five that we should be familiar with?
I don't know, but I know a few projects are on this five. For example, there's this K210. This is actually a microcontroller board. It's a system on SoC, system on the chip that actually contains ability to run compute. So it's designed for embedded use, so that you can have a camera that can run neural network. So this K210, that is actually an example of the RISC-V system. Uh, I do not know what's the big one, but I know a few small ones. But for this one, I don't understand the concern, but I think one of the big one is that Nvidia may kill off ARM. I don't think so, because it's very big when it
Yeah.
comes to users.
And also
But
Apple, just in case like people are gonna say they gonna affect Apple
yeah,
because Apple got a perpetual licensing of
yes,
ARM as well.
correct. So and also, I mean, it is big because ARM are not just a CPU licensing company, which core and all that. It's also providing capability to run embedded system for your. So this is the device that will run on your car, your drones, your factory, etc. So and also your phone and all that. So Nvidia will have a big control of this, but it won't be. On the other hand, so here's my other opinion as well. Intel is almost as big. They sell to servers. They have compute. They also do wireless. Nvidia doesn't do wireless technology. AMD, it will turn, it's more, Nvidia will be more similar to AMD. AMD had compute, that's the former ATI. there's a graphic card and also a CPU and all that, right? So NVIDIA will be something in between. Uh, so it's similar to AMD and do a bit more thing like Intel. So that's an interesting thing for me as a business and all that. And whoever company that software company they're going to buy will also be problematic. So imagine that let's say a hypothetical scenario where Apple buys it. Now you got software and hardware together. That's also that's a problem. When Google buys it, that's a problem because of the software and hardware all together and all that. So I don't think there's no good buyer for Nvidia, in my opinion. When Nvidia, sorry for ARM, but when Nvidia don't buy it, the situation will be more similar to AMD, Intel than anything else. That's my opinion. Sean actually had a few design on this 5 core. You should check him out. Uh, can we see Sean should share links to his design that we can see. I know he had uh, a few simulated processor design on GitHub as well. Very interesting. Oh, so either way, I think NVIDIA will be very interesting in the future. It will be a series. I got a feeling NVIDIA, the series of antitrust cases and whatnot may be maybe an episode for DevKami. Let's see how it goes.
Another is
But you guys think?
another similarly
Um,
another similar side note sidetrack a bit is another similarly dramatic enough but not so gonna affect me is that the Oracle is gonna be in the talk to acquire TikTok as well.
yes.
Yeah.
But it's not finalized yet.
It's not finalized, but also TikTok don't want to do it. I think the whole thing is silly. It's a red herring. It's a red herring. It's American politics just learn what Malaysian government does. It's very silly.
Yeah, but
So go
but
on.
would you know why Oracle would like actually want to win? Like they actually
I don't
probably
know.
already won the bidding, right? Like
I
what
don't
they
know, to be
are they
honest.
doing like something like Warren Buffet? They're just like investing in all kinds of companies and then
Uh,
just riding
Oracle
on
is
them.
Oracle is capable of doing that. They have the money. They have. It's just that if they're going to run the TikTok business, it'll be very weird because Oracle, uh, the culture is very different. Put it this way, the culture is
Mm.
very different.
Because
So
at
it
least
get really
Microsoft, I
interesting.
would understand because they would probably want to do the social thing. Like
Yeah.
they
Yes,
envision the
Which they're
teams, right?
always trying
So
to do but never
correct.
succeeded.
yeah.
So they
So
may
I
not
don't
be
know about
successful,
Oracle.
but they try. Yeah, Oracle just not. I don't not remember any
And then
attempt
they'll
from
all
Oracle.
like what they did with the with Java and Sun. They'll all,
Yes.
and VirtualBox. They'll have TikTok by Oracle, like
Yeah, but I do
small
not know how they
documented
license
content.
it. I do not know whether the team can sell it and whatnot as well, because that's the core of Oracle business. Let's move on. WSL. So you can access the WSL file system from Windows now.
No, not
I,
well, you have been able to access the WSL file system from Windows. What's new is that you can mount
ah,
ext4 file systems from
Nice.
WSL.
right.
Without an
So,
Okay.
for
external driver.
example, I have a dual boot system on my PC, right? And
Yep.
what I usually because I do development, I would usually just run VirtualBox, and
Uh
inside
huh.
VirtualBox, I have a hardware mount of the ext4 partition,
Yeah.
so that when I do work on like on Visual Studio Remote, then I can access the file system directly. And when I dual boot into Ubuntu, then I still have the same files that were changed. Now, in this case, if I do WSL mount, then it exposes the ext4 file system into Windows.
Hmm.
So that's actually quite
Interesting.
interesting. Yep, exactly. Because uh, I'm not so sure what happened to the ext4 file system drivers. There used to be
Hmm.
some, but you would think that it because it's open source, then it would be easy to create a driver, right? But apparently there aren't a lot of people trying to do it, and there
Right.
aren't any like widely available ones. There are those for HPFS and Apple file system, I think, but not for ext4. You can read it, but apparently you can like writing apparently, and the journaling is not as robust.
Right.
So this one changes
Interesting.
things because in WSL2, you're actually running a Linux kernel, and so
Yeah.
like Windows basically just defers all of the file system processing onto that Linux kernel.
Right. Uh-huh. I wonder if they can CH root from Windows to the file system to do repair whatnot. A random thought, you don't do that, but I wonder if you can. Let's move on. Uh, okay, GitLab had a case for upgrading PostgreSQL. If you're interested, you should check it out. Not much. It's just about how they migrate their infrastructure and how to do that. So you want to know how GitLab infrastructure work and all that, I suggest you join
And
in.
I think the interesting thing here is because it's no downtime, right?
Yeah.
It's a no downtime upgrade. Is that correct?
Yes. I do not. I don't know actually. To be honest, I do not
It's a high availability, no downtime upgrade.
Yeah,
know.
and also today they released their sharing of about like after a year of switching to Kubernetes, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, they
Right.
share their findings and their experiences.
Okay. And finally, this is actually in PDF. I didn't open, but Stash Away released an incident report for their debit duplication issue. Uh, it's on Slack app. I can't share my screen yet. Actually, it's more like I'm just lazy to share my screen like this. But the information is released. So, if you're interested why things happen, you should try. You know what? Let me switch my share screen because I'm pretty much done on this set of tab actually. Let me share screen, application window. Now you can see my port. So stash away actually an incident report. There is there's multiple. So this is the case where the debit got charged multiple times.
Yep.
So,
For what I understand is
so
you want me to do a
uh-huh.
summary?
Yes, please.
From what I understand is that they actually had a retry mechanism
Yeah,
that you create a new ID to be resubmitted to collect.
yeah,
But that day, I mean, they have a retry system that create a new ID that can be sent to collect. But that day they have their own timeout as well, so they created a bunch of retries as well.
yeah.
So
So
it's a I can't say it's a
short
all collects fault. I don't know, it's up to you guys to.
yeah, it's one of the things I thought that why did they do it? Because sometimes we try a system. Think about it, when you try to do an operation, when you try the reason you will try is because you do not actually know if the operation has been successful. This across all software development project, right? Uh, just that certain type of operation have a cost. So it's a easy mistake we make because sometimes when we talk to third party services, we won't know for sure whether an operation is triggered. Uh, so we just prepare it, queue it up, to run it just in case. In this case, so this happens across different projects. So in this case, I understand why, but at least it's interesting also because this is one of those rare incident report prepared by a local company. So I do a CPU spike is one of those things, but it's also the retry logic thing. So yeah. So if you're interested, join GD Smile. Ask where Lisa actually got it. I do not know where Lisa get it. uh, yeah, you can get it. So the link is there. Yeah. So with that said, I'm done with my news. Any other news that you guys have?
No, not that
If
I
not, we
know
should
of.
move on.
No.
Not really
Okay.
something interesting.
So, uh-huh.
The news is
Okay.
not nothing related to tech.
Okay. So 100 episode, almost 2 years. I mean, it'll be another 8 episode to actually 2 years. Yeah, it's close to it's 2 years actually. And my internet acts up.
It's
I was
actually
supposed to
already
fix
two
it
years.
today because I had to and all that.
It was two
Yeah.
years in August.
Yeah, it scares. Yes. So here's what happened for the 2 years. The 100 episode, I actually finally updated the blog. Uh,
Yep,
so the
nice.
blog
You
actually
should
have been
actually
updated.
show it up.
The
I think
problem
you should.
is it's a batch update. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. I have a way. Let me give me a moment. I hope this thing doesn't drag me crazy. PyCharm b/PyCharm. Uh, da-da, right, shares. Give me a moment. I just turned on my IDE because because PyCharm is awesome.
So you did a batch job for getting the YouTube IDs, right?
Yes.
And then creating it according to the template that we
Yes.
have on Hugo.
Correct.
Can you make
Correct.
the
As
text
it turns
larger?
out, so the first thing is,
I think you should actually pick the
sure.
font.
Okay, how do you do that in PyCharm?
Control
The
plus.
thing is, I
PyCharm.
do not need it.
I
No, I
see.
already tried that.
Okay.
So
Uh,
probably view and
the thing
then
is,
something.
yeah, it's settings and all that.
Increase the font
Oh,
size to like 16.
Yeah.
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 Okay, give me a moment. I don't have to adjust
Or
my.
of course the other way to do that is to change your resolution into something smaller and then it will automatically go larger, right?
Yeah, it's 26. All right. So
Yay.
first thing is, so I actually had a few interesting thing about this project. I use poetry uh, because it's hip, so why not? It's not the worst idea. Uh, more on that later. More on that later. So the first thing is, this is my developer key. Have fun. So this is our channel ID. Remember that when you actually go to YouTube to search for our ID. So here's the first thing you need to know. To do this, you need to use the Google Data API. Oh, interesting. They actually helped me clean up some code. I remove it. More on that later. You use a Google Data API, get your API key. Uh, this is very interesting as well because as it turns out, we can actually access Google API service using API key, meaning I can potentially turn this into a cron job, but I should not simply because this is a one-time job. I only need to. This is to load all the uh, backdated posts, right? Then we're going to list. So this is pretty easy because uh, how do I know the parameter? I'm going to show you where you can test it out later. Then I'm going to do all the loop lah. Then do a next page and all that. Then turns out that the template for the site is very simple. It's just a matter of this one and this one,
Do you
then
know
title.
why it's simple? Do you know? Do you know?
Because we use
Yeah,
Hugo and there's a
because I
template.
made it like that.
Yeah, correct.
Because in the
So
beginning it was a template of like the whole thing and then you have all of these things
correct,
and then I
correct.
said Now I'll just make it
Yes,
automated. So the template actually
correct.
just picks the YouTube ID and then generates all of the YouTube iframes and all of these things.
Correct. So there's a template somewhere, but the thing is, this generator does not write directly
Hmm.
to the Hugo directory. This only generates so that we can have a chance to review, so that we don't do stupid thing like how you
Overwriting
say.
or
Correct. So yeah, which is why you see the name, the URL is very good because it's sluggy. There's nothing special with this script. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Yeah. The only real special thing is that you know what the shelf library does? Make a guess. So on Python, there is actually built-in key value database. It's not for network. It's not for multiple thread users, but it's designed to be easy to use. So what you do is post an ID, then you just a matter of turning this into a key value. If you store object, that will serialize it actually. But for what
mm,
so the reason for that is I don't bother to generate a new thing. It's a form of caching mechanism. So yeah, on hindsight I should do this better because I should actually use this to cache API call instead of this. But in this case, because it's just one API call, so that's a problem. So how do I know how the API work? Very simple. Oh my god, you see my porn now.
Your prawn, your choice of seafood.
API. So good news is you will see the key. Bad news is it's expired from. I think I use up the thing, but I'm not going to show you the screen. I'm not going to show you the
what are we
screen.
looking at?
I'm not. I'm opening up the tab. I'm opening up the tab for my
Yeah,
for
but
Google
because you're
API.
not sharing your screen, so we
There's
don't
a
see
reason
it.
for it. There's a reason
Yeah.
for it. The reason is I don't want you to see the API key.
Okay.
you could
Why
have
does
you could have
Swimling?
used
Why are you
environmental
so
variables.
why are you so clever?
You
I
could have
wanted to
used
see the
a
API key.
Wait. Let me do it properly. Let me do it properly. Here you are. I'm sharing. I'm going to share a new browser tab. Share screen. Uh, la, la, la. Okay, here you are. So YouTube actually had a set of API for YouTube uh, for uh, for this. So, but what we want is to use a search key. The reason we use search is because uh, YouTube don't actually have a list video by channel feature. To do this, we need to do the following: uh, channel ID. Then we need to tell them the content that you want to get. So this is the part. Then everything is just execute. Then you go and ask for my API key. So this is where you get everything. I wonder if you can
Yeah, we
show.
get all of our this is all of our episodes, right?
Correct. But no, this is all the episode page.
Yeah,
Uh,
the
this
YouTube
all
IDs.
episode.
But
Correct.
not all of our episodes on the channel are actually podcast episodes.
Yeah. In this case, I don't really care because the point
Okay.
is to it's a blog, meaning people want to
Mm,
see our update. And also in
mm,
2020, we almost always just do a podcast, but we don't
mm-hmm,
do the video.
mm-hmm.
The video is a problem.
Yeah, we
The
don't do
audio is
the interviews anymore because we have a like number of interviews in the channel as well.
correct. At that time, we do not know how the format should be. It turns out that it's so
Mm,
lazy, we're just going to just merge everything together and go. because it turns out that one of the original idea of DevKami is want to talk about the soft side of technology. It's still a
Yeah.
topic I'm interested in, but it turns out that anything goes nowadays, and I'm still trying to don't go too deep into the technology. And I you still go to that, but you can Google it so you guys know more than me. So either way, uh, here's another interesting thing. Because you search everything on the channel, you do not just get video. Sometimes you get like playlists and all that. But with
Mm-hmm.
I do not know how can I filter it for kind yet. It does make the API call cheaper. So either way, you can use the API service. API service. You can test your query here. This is all the API key. Then what you do then is to
Does
translate it into
Yeah,
yes.
to code, but does this also return unlisted videos?
I do not know. I didn't
Mm.
check yet. Uh, Let me see the API service called. Chances it really comes with everything.
Hmm.
Because I do not think they actually have a filter for unlisted.
So
But
I
on the
guess
other hand,
unlisted won't show by default, right? I guess. I don't know.
yeah, possibly, very possibly. And also, this is also interesting as well because in this case, because DevKami is mostly family friendly, so I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
care. My fault. I love Google API console. You can literally do everything here.
Mm-hmm.
So see here, you can actually just follow what they do, but you need to update it. So this is how you do. If you provide APIs, we do something like this. Open API provide the way for you to do that. So let's move on. Anything you want to know about the script?
No, I think you
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
move on to
It's
the
a
next
very
one.
simple. Yeah, it's a very simple script. But either way,
Mm.
in our 100 episode, I only update the content. I
Yep.
only update content, but I have plans. For example, all the
Big
broken
plans.
thing, uh, I can't tell. I can't really tell
Mm. Okay.
the size. I need to fix the audio somehow, so that we
Yeah,
can.
for the Spotify podcast, right?
Correct. We used to do that. I have my server running. I had a sandbox server running. I may just put it there. Sandbox server. It's not a special server. It's just that I have a Linux server. It's a Linux machine that I use for sandbox. Meaning I play with all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be my blog, but because I don't update my blog often, so I moved my blog to a static site on Netlify. So, but I still host some of my freelance things on it. Uh, I don't think they use it anymore, but I might just keep it. Let's see how it goes. If they need it, they'll continue it now. So either way, that's my sandbox. So I might just move the audio over there. If I figure out how the
Mm-hmm.
script works, so I need to figure it out. I will actually make sure that I need to make a way to simplify our bus corner and links to the blog to each to the blog. I think the value for our audience would be like what's the link, so what are we talking about, what technology we're talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a strong idea how to do that yet. Uh,
So
very
something like
likely.
tagging. So you go through all of them and then you tag them with the
Uh,
technology being discussed.
I'm thinking of two things. One, because I want to do this low code way, uh, highly unlikely. I'm thinking whether I can integrate a spreadsheet to show for you to enter the links and all that. Then it will generate a JSON that we can import to the Hugo so that it can put as a
Mm-hmm.
data. So data. We had a template with the rich data. So every day, we will have a commit to a data, maybe one toml or JSON file a day. I don't have a strong idea yet.
But
The
you can
point
add that
is,
to the template itself. Like it, I think it already has supports for extra data on the template itself. Just add it.
correct,
It's
correct.
just YAML. Yeah.
Yeah. So
One thing that I'm
Gitmo
thinking
is
of though is, yeah,
uh,
one thing I'm thinking of, instead of doing it manually, you can just download um the closed caption automatically generated by YouTube, and then do some text processing there, and then
yeah.
just upload like keywords
Uh,
onto
no,
the
that's a good
podcast.
idea. We should do that. We should really do that.
Yeah. Then you can
Because
even use TensorFlow to like weed out all of the not so good keywords, and then it becomes better and better as more
yeah,
things happen. So you can have like
at
machine
this
learning
rate,
happening there.
it's something we can try. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
DevKami itself is an experimental project, so definitely. Uh, I need to update the audio. I need to add the. I'm going to add caption slash bus corner slash event.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not event, but bus corner kind of thing. So at least we have the links and stuff like that. So I want to also. So this is a crazy idea that I have because I want to practice my front end. I hope to have a bus corner that will lay out in the bus newspaper. I do not know how to do that
Yeah,
yet.
sure.
It's something for my own exercise to do front end
Yeah.
because,
We were
as you
supposed
know,
to have a, yeah, as you
how do
know.
I,
Sorry.
as you know, I'm a backend developer. So meaning I know more about Linux and system level thing than front end. So yeah, it's something that I'm pick up along the way.
Yeah. We were
It's
supposed to have that section, right? Like that tab that says Buzz Corner. Um,
Yeah. Oh, really?
because right now it's just a Slack channel. So we should just like have some sort of submission entry there, Buzz Corner, just submit that, and then we can just pull that out during the
Okay.
episode.
So the thing is, this is a static site. How do people submit pull requests?
So yeah, you know what we did before we did a calendar, right?
Yeah.
It was a form that automatically generated a pull request, and then when you approve the pull request, it automatically
Oh,
merges the thing.
interesting. I need. Oh, by the way, I removed that feature. By the way, because
Yeah,
the
it's
reason
not
I
used
removed that
anymore.
feature, it's not used, and GitHub dependent bot kind of annoys me. Kind of like, okay, yeah, we need to
Yeah,
fix it.
this is something that is the most requested one that we've been always trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So the
as soon as we can get the information, like the newsletter, right? When we get the newsletter in, sorry, when we get the Buzz Corner stuff in, and once we get
yeah,
Swimming's closed captions in, then we
yeah,
have like a newsletter
Yep.
content for the
correct,
newsletter.
correct. So it's a one step thing. So as a result, this thing will only get bigger. I do not know how big it will go. It will get bigger, but it's not that big. Right? It's like uh, jogging than running. But I mean,
Then you you then you get your skills polished, and then so when you're back to enter the job market, you can just say, "Look at what we've done."
yeah. So the thing is, I'm trying to incorporate all this. I have a project called Project Gap. Project Gap, the gap here is skill gap. So one of the skill
Mm-hmm.
gap that I'm trying to cover is front end. Then some backend thing. I don't have a strong idea what backend thing I want to pick up. I already know Linux, so I'm old school in that sense. So maybe Docker then Kubernetes. Docker I can't run away anymore. So maybe Kubernetes. I don't know. Part of this, by the way, off topic, talking about Project Gap, the script that I do to generate this document uses poetry. It's a Python packaging
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I discovered that it generates all the file and all that, and also a command. They also had a command line option to publish to PyPI, the item package index. And it turns out that I had a project called Georgia. Georgia is a Malaysian data weather service API. Not very useful in the way that you need your IC to use, but you need IC to get the API key to use.
When you first started, does it need it?
Yeah. They don't need it.
Okay.
They
It
always
always
need it.
requires an IC. Okay.
Yeah, once you have the IC, then you can get the API key, which I think is very silly, but it's very comprehensive. So what happened? Also, off topic, I may migrate Georgia to use Poetry because from the block generator, I find it very promising. So it's part of the skill gap thing. So yeah. Let's see how it goes. So I may take the opportunity to do this. So finally, because if it takes too much of my time, I'm tempted to turn DevKami, start to take user contribution to DevKami in term of Patreon and all that. At least to make it easier to cover infrastructure. Again, no strong idea, but that more likely to happen because currently our way to getting contribution have been unofficial, and
Mm-hmm.
so maybe that's a good idea because infrastructure costs money, stream costs money, and the good thing is that it make it easy for us to actually accept money is that we are sharing infrastructure with engineers mind. We do not own engineers mind, but we are sharing the infrastructure. So
And engineers mind is you and I and everybody. We are
yeah,
engineers.
correct, correct.
It's like a better form of anonymous, I guess.
It's
I don't
Yeah,
know.
some
It's a group that just calls themselves the
just
same
doesn't do
without any
anything
kind
on
of
itself.
yeah.
yeah, correct. So it just thinks. Uh, so I may start doing that. Meaning I don't have a strong idea how to do that, but because my friend freelance thing may require a company soon, I may just park it under there until we go bigger. So something to prepare on because once we formalize the money service and all that, right? It's better to park under a company and whatnot. So
Yep. Once everything
so
is figured out.
yeah, correct. So newsletter. So I already talked about newsletter, audio, widgets. That's the caption thing. Then money. So that's the future of DevKami. Post 100 episode. As usual, we're going to. One thing that I want to do this year that I didn't get a chance, because last year I've been through some of the tech event. Uh, Not just any tech event. I'm going to game demo by local game developer. It's on personal basis. But something that I do. And also every year there's this student science fair project that I always go. I, I don't go on every year, but I tend to go. So I thought we can go to cover a few things. The science project thing I'm a bit more reserved because I'm not comfortable of showing children on social media. But it's something on my mind lah. Once the MCO over in the future, DevKami we definitely try to cover event, but we're also selective on the type of event. Uh, it need to be have some thought. It need to be developer focused, not startup focused. Not on sale may be acceptable, but we are not doing consumer technology.
No, we are
We are not
talking.
doing consumer.
DevKami is the idea is the people in the that do stuff that do like
Correct,
that
correct,
relates to the tech industry.
correct. So
We
we don't.
so sales is part of it, but is we don't exclude, but we try to cover. I mean stories about people in the
Don't
field.
prioritize it. Yeah, we don't prioritize it. So a good example is when there's a game expo, we do not go to the game expo, but if the game expo have developer indie developer showcasing their game, then we'll prioritize that one. So it's something along the way. The only hard part is we are not officially media, and that's actually a real problem. So that's the further in the future. If we can sneak in without media pass, we'll do it.
We can just buy a ticket. I mean, there
Yeah,
are
or try
funds
Uh,
for tickets, right?
or communicate with the organizer beforehand.
correct. Because
Yeah.
the reason they don't allow, they don't go crazy over, they have a media pass is because they can control the flow and don't disrupt the event.
To apply
So
for the media license for individual, you need to pay 10K.
correct. That's a problem. That's a real problem, uh, which is why it's something on my mind that like it's not something. It's
Yeah,
not
I
on
don't
my
think
mind.
it's gonna be a priority, and at this stage, the money could have been used for better things anyway.
Correct. But that being said, let's say we finally had physical conference, our like PyCon and all that, generally they don't really care as much. So it's something that we can do lah. So it's something that's possible lah. So never say never, but let's see how it goes. So we covered interview, but man, 100 episode. What the hell? What the hell have we covered for the last 100 episode?
A lot of stuff.
We have covered, yeah, we have covered deep learning.
We
We're
met a lot
pushing
of interesting people along the way.
correct. So we have talked to designers. We talk about things they're excited about chatbot. We don't cover that. Interestingly, we don't cover enough chatbot. I think the technology is okay. It's technically dead, but it's going to have revival because of GPT-3. The transformer technology are getting more advanced, so we will see more and more. Uh, it's something always in the future. So we have so that's Hussein. Then we have Wuhan. Wuhan is excited over chat technology and design and all that. Community building. We cover quite heavily on community building. So we have Daniel as part of us. Then we also talk about the job market a little. That's where we cover. Then we have Hazlitt recently. I think we should bring in some of the committee member, possibly some of the more upcoming committee members should ask you for interview. I do not know whether they're interested, but let's see how it goes. We also covered hardware hacking. We covered too many hardware hacking. I blame Tristan.
Tristan is doing more hardware hacking today, apparently.
Yes,
Not that
yes.
much. Yeah, I
But
mean
we
it's
won't.
a good hobby.
Yes. Unlike Gundam, it just take up space.
Yeah, or me
Uh,
palming.
yes. So we also covered community technologies and all that. Uh, then yeah, cover a lot of stuff.
I
I
think I need
also
to. The thing is, I need to
uh,
go. Starting to go out to reorganize the. Looked at. Uh, it looks like it's safe to go out nowadays, so should bring back the engineers my dinner, get more
yeah
people, and do like sort of ad hoc. Interviews lah. Like
yeah
initially what we did.
yeah we should do
Ideas of
that.
certain random topics.
Yeah we should do that.
Yeah.
In fact, what I think the PyCon interview is pretty popular. I hope so. We should do more of those. Which reminds me, I need a S7C camera.
It's an i7C.
It's a camera.
A7C.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a compact full frame camera with a flip
You
screen.
don't need another new device. I'm using my phone to record anyway.
It's just an excuse. But either
Just
way,
encourage to
yeah,
because
it's an
the
experience.
only true answer is I like it.
Yes, yes. So either way, more interview. I hope you'll do more
Interviews. Let's get
tasks.
to meet
But
more people. Talk with a more diverse kind of. I mean, those that we haven't get to, because right now we are still milking from the same faces that we see.
correct.
So yeah, would like to pass more bubbles. The some of the interviews like the Jump hack thing is actually pretty good to explore the different
Yeah,
bubbles happening around.
correct. The thing is, our community still had a lot of people. So, for example, we are heavy on Python and Ruby. So, Python and Ruby, John Hack guys, Izudin is like the first person, first group of people that's heavy on PHP that I find know of. Uh, we didn't even interview the guys that run Elixir, without, and we also Go is also heavy on all this because that's what we know, right? So, uh, language based, we can have some people around. We can get quite a few other people in. Um, so yeah, we should do more interview definitely.
Yeah, what do you
Uh,
have in mind, Tristan?
What do you mean?
More random should be. we should
I don't I don't know. Maybe we've thought about like workshops, for example, right? Like
yeah, but the
for example,
workshop,
like what
uh,
swimming was just doing.
yeah, but workshop itself is not, the format is weird, so we can't do workshop. But one thing that I do have a thought on also is called, I have a name for it. It's called DevKami short. I tried to do it's a technology
it's not a workshop,
focused
but it's a DevKami shop. So
shorts.
it's different.
Shorts. It's
Okay.
15 minutes. The reason why it's called shorts is because it's 15 minutes.
Okay.
Uh,
Like
aim to
quick
have,
tips from swimming.
yeah. So this one where we can really cover things as, so. For example, I can talk about poetry, how to package stuff. What is poetry? What is an M5 stack? What is neural network? We are not talking about technology right now. This is mostly random
Yeah.
rambling. So
yeah.
what is Hugo? So for example, so the
Yeah. A
idea
lot of
is,
things that we take for granted, but might not be so obvious, might be useful for some people since we did the discovery. So we might as well
yeah,
just do the digestion as well.
correct. So I might do some short form video. Uh, since I'm technically jobless, so
I
I'm
think you
gonna
should take your break first.
yeah.
Go take your
So
break.
yes,
Then after that,
I, pro-
uh,
I promised to go Malacca. I promised myself to go Malacca. Didn't even start yet,
uh, yeah,
so there's a problem. So yeah, short technology introduction. This definitely on my list. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
a
You
lot
could
of
suggest to us what sort of technology we should cover. Also,
yeah. What
in
do you want
case,
to know? That's a problem.
yeah. But
We
yeah,
kind of what do you want
today
to
we
see
could,
more of that?
yeah. Today we are talking about more like how going forward.
Yes. So one of the things that I covered, I don't know whether I covered too much of all that, is the soft side technology. So it takes the ethical consideration of technology, uh, then all that, but we don't cover enough, so we go random area all the time.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Oh wait,
uh,
we how do we get the information from people? Like if people are requesting, how do we deal with that?
I think
it's
we should
called
actually have a.
waterboarding.
Hmm?
I think we should for the create a Google form or something like that
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah, yeah,
people to
yeah.
suggest. So I'll
Yes,
actually update the videos to put it on each videos. on in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
or as a comment.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a good
Uh,
one to that one is essential but not hard to implement.
yeah. So yeah. So how do we get information? Waterboarding. Just kidding. I mean, it's the same thing in remove water. It's called theta rate, but we just don't dunk them in the theta rate. That's
Yeah,
all.
we actually have a lot of stuff to talk about, but they are not safe to be on air, so we do that
Yeah,
over theta rate.
because
So
because notice that we do not talk about our employer often. Is
not
conscious.
just employer, but like what's happening in the industry, like the the the, the
Sometimes we
stuff
do
that
that.
is going on, but
Sometimes we do that, lah, but we
the
just don't.
the information
Uh,
brokering
yeah, but if we
we do.
work if we work directly on it, very likely we don't cover it as we just talk about it. We just pass by and this. So we cover technology that we use, but we don't talk about how to use it at work. We don't talk about our
Oh,
company.
I don't mind talking about how I use it at work, but I have nothing to show, safe to
Yeah,
show. I have yeah.
correct. So we can only cut because I primarily work in a commercial company, and the software tends to be proprietary, even though it's built open source software. So it's not something that I can talk as well. So something we think about. So yeah. So what is that coming in the future? It will be the same thing, random technology,
And then,
sometimes deep, sometimes
what's
surface.
our slogan again? Unprepared, unscripted. There's
Really,
three
we have
uns.
one.
we,
Yeah,
for, we actually forgot about our slogan.
we have a
Okay.
slogan.
Yes,
Goodness.
we started with it's a three unprepared not unscripted. I remember unscripted and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's not there in the website anymore.
Yeah, it's removed.
Oh,
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
removed.
yeah. I forgot
So
about it.
it's probably on the about. No, not
Yeah,
even on the about page. Who removed it?
yeah.
No, why?
That was our
Let's see.
manifesto.
I didn't remove it. Not on me. You can look at it.
Uh, it's fine. I reckon I
Let's look
just
at
put
the
it back
Git
in.
commits. Yeah.
Keep blame.
Yes.
There's like
That's
180
that's
commits. Wow, that's a lot. What has been happening here?
yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to cover? I think we should wrap up
No,
if we
I
have
don't
nothing.
think we have. I don't have a but. That being said, we have a Facebook page. After a
Yeah.
while,
Yeah.
so we
And
should
our Facebook
there.
followers actually surpasses our YouTube one. And also now that we actually stream to Twitch as well on request of
Yeah,
some more privacy concern listeners, there's a few of them, like at least three of them that they prefer to watch via something that is not require a login.
yeah.
So it's not that
Ah,
Twitch is any
okay.
more privacy focused, but you don't need to be logged in.
You want me to
Oh,
set up a
yeah.
PQ?
Who removed
Let's.
that? Did you did you
Yeah.
found
So I found it. It's unedited, unscripted, unreal.
yeah,
I
Unreal?
don't know what
Wow.
happened here.
Who actually removed that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It used to be
Unreal is a
there.
bit Unreal is a bit surreal.
Where we use the
Yeah.
Unreal Engine.
Unfortunately we haven't really talked about anything that is unreal.
Hmm.
Why you don't play Quake?
I cannot play FPS.
That explains. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's because that is using the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I give.
It's very unreal. Yeah. That's our
Well,
coordinate. So
it's been unreal. So we have to say
yeah.
goodbye
Yes.
for this
So it's
100th
100 episode.
episode.
Yeah. Apparently the person who pushed it through didn't last. I have to give credit to Jimmy because Jimmy is the one that pushed it through. We've been talking about like doing something to talk about, but Jimmy is the one that pushed it through. So
Yes.
yeah. So, but we'll be still here talking about random shit, whatever that we want so far.
Yes. Yes.
But we're gonna produce some like our interviews. We're gonna produce some scripted events as well, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The one about the games.
Okay.
Yeah, we play a game. What the wish the what the doctor game the
Oh yeah. We tried to sell fake drug. Yes. It didn't work as well. It's a promising game, but it works better in real life.
yeah. We can do some live stream. I'm actually planning to do some of this online. But let's see
Yeah.
how it goes. Requires tabletop simulator. If you have it, feel free to
Yeah.
ping me. And
I have the license. Tell me as well.
yeah,
I think I have three more or something.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's. I think we should wrap up. Uh,
Yeah.
if anybody has any suggestion or anything to for us to improve or us to degrade to, like we should be more offensive. Tell us in the comment section, and also we'll be coming up with a survey form. I think we should do like a state of DevKami, like an annual survey of
Yeah. We should do that.
DevKami. Yeah. So
Should
yeah,
we do?
it should be coming up soon, and let's see how much we can do on the system side to
Yeah.
improve the discovery of everyone. So I guess that's about it. Anything you guys want to add?
Do you need more social media coverage from us? Because I don't think DevKami covers Instagram and Twitter yet.
I don't use Instagram, so yeah, unfortunately. And my Facebook usage is very minimal.
Oh my
Hey, we got
goodness, we
our
have
first
more.
spam from Twitch.
Yay!
We're there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yay!
Yeah.
We
yay,
got our first spam from Twitch. There you
nice.
Yes.
go. That's
That's
how you
our
know you've
that's
made
our
it.
first mouse. Yeah, we made it.
Yes.
Want to become
Yes.
When
famous?
you
Yeah, we're
get
already
spam.
famous. So
Yes. So
yep,
that's
I
it. I think
guess
we should.
yeah, we
Yeah.
should wrap up.
Yes.
Okay, bye,
Bye.
folks.
I'm waving my hand now.
Click
I'm
and
waving my
subscribe
hand now.
and comment. Put your
Yes.